Welcome to module number 7. In this particular module, we will be covering roles and documentation. The purpose of this particular module is to take you through the various roles in MoP, and we're going to explain the purposes of the main portfolio management documentation. So what are the documents and who are the people involved are the two key areas of focus. We will also look into the responsibilities of the main portfolio management roles identified in MoP, and we would look into the recommended contents of the main portfolio management documentation. Let's look into some key committees within the portfolio context. We have the Portfolio Direction Group, also called as the Investment Committee. We would use the acronym PDG to represent the Portfolio Direction Group or an Investment Committee, IC. Now, what is the purpose of this particular group? The purpose is to act as a governance body. This is the governance body where decisions about inclusion of initiatives in the portfolio are made. No initiative should be included within the portfolio or funded without the PDG/IC's approval. Now, what are the responsibilities of the direction group? Number one, they agree the portfolio management framework. They agree the processes contained within the portfolio definition cycle and ensure that they operate effectively. They approve changes to the practices within the portfolio definition cycle. If you remember, there are 5 practices within the definition cycle. So they agree to any changes made to those practices. The portfolio direction group, they approve the portfolio strategy and the delivery plan, which are the two key outputs of the definition cycle. They receive investment appraisal and portfolio prioritization reports and decision on the scope and content of the portfolio. They ensure that the portfolio is suitably balanced. They ensure that the resources are allocated appropriately. And finally, the portfolio direction group ensures that the portfolio development pipeline contains sufficient initiatives at the feasibility/concept stage, and that initiatives progress through the pipeline at an adequate speed. Some additional responsibilities: they undertake regular portfolio level reviews to assess progress and confirm that the portfolio remains on course to deliver the desired strategic benefits and outcomes. They review recommendations from the portfolio progress group or change delivery committee and make decisions accordingly. They ensure that any conflicts between portfolio delivery and business as usual that cannot be resolved by the portfolio progress group or change delivery committee are addressed effectively. This particular committee promotes collaborative working across the organization, and they undertake periodic reviews of the effectiveness of the portfolio management within the organization and take appropriate actions when required. So this is one governance body in the context of portfolio management. Another governance body, which is quite relevant in the context of MoP, is a portfolio progress group. We shall use the acronym PPG, or the change delivery group. The acronym that we would be using is CDC. So what's the purpose of PPG? The purpose is to act as a governance body responsible for monitoring portfolio progress and resolving issues that may compromise delivery and benefit realization. The responsibilities: they agree the processes contained within the portfolio delivery cycle. If you recollect, we looked into 7 practices within the delivery cycle. So they agree the processes contained within these cycle and ensure that they work effectively. And any changes to the practices within the delivery cycle are approved by the PPG. They ensure that all programs and projects comply with agreed delivery standards, including the business change life cycle. Number 4, they monitor delivery of the portfolio delivery plan. We have the portfolio dashboard, including spend against profile budget and revised forecast outturn. Ensuring effective action is taken to address overspends. Where underspends occur, take prompt action to consider reallocating the funds to other initiatives, including those in the portfolio development pipeline, by referring the issues to the portfolio delivery group or portfolio direction group or investment committee. Review and resolve key portfolio level issues. The PPG ensures that risks and dependencies are effectively managed. They ensure that limited resources are managed effectively and efficiently. They monitor and approve changes to the benefits forecast. Some additional responsibilities: they approve comms on portfolio progress. Where justified, the PPG makes recommendation to the portfolio direction group or investment committee for the termination of initiatives. At times, a particular project or a program might not be aligned with the strategy, or the rationale for that investment no longer exists, in which case the PPG could recommend a termination of that initiative. PPG escalates issues that cannot be adequately resolved to the portfolio direction group or investment committee and management board. They undertake periodic reviews of the effectiveness of portfolio delivery within the organization and take appropriate action where required. So that brings us to the close of the responsibilities of the portfolio group. So far we kind of looked into two governing bodies. One is the direction group, also called as the investment committee. The other one is the progress group, also called as the change delivery committee. Now let's kind of look into some individual roles. We have the role of a business change director or portfolio director. The purpose of this particular role is the following. The business change or portfolio director is the management board member who is responsible for the portfolio strategy and provides clear leadership and direction through its life. So the responsibilities of a portfolio director include: the portfolio director champions the implementation of portfolio management, secures the investment to implement portfolio management, including a portfolio office where required, provides overall direction and leadership for the implementation and delivery of the portfolio, makes relevant management board approval for the portfolio strategy and delivery plan, promotes an energized culture that is focused on collaborative working in the interest of the organization as a whole, ensures that the portfolio evolves to reflect change strategic objectives and business priorities, and that resources are reallocated where necessary. And finally, the portfolio director ensures that the portfolio management practices are documented in a portfolio management framework and that they are amended in the light of lessons learned.